Let's bring in our good buddy, Julian Council from On Panthers, where he hosts a daily Panthers podcast. And it'll be at least somewhat positive of a week this week, Julian, after a 19-13 Panthers win down in Atlanta. I'm going to ask you the legal questions here, right? So did the Panthers prove beyond a reasonable doubt with over 200 rushing yards that they can actually run the football?
Maybe. I can't say without beyond a reasonable doubt that they did, considering it's the Falcons and Atlanta is not a good football team. But it is good to finally see Matt Rule's offense find some sort of identity. And I say Matt Rule's offense because he let Joe Brady know last week following the loss that they needed to run the football. They go to New York, run it 17 times. Today, they ran it 18 times alone in the first half. 47 times for the game, which is the most in the Rule era here in Carolina, and over 200 yards for the first time in the Matt Rule era. So this has become his offense, and the team has potentially found an identity by being a ground and pound football team, which is a little archaic in today's football, where typically you win by throwing the football and then you salt away the game with the run game. Well, Carolina's realized that they don't have an elite passing game, whether that's Sam Darnold or Robbie Anderson dropping balls, or really everyone on the team, considering they lead the league in drops. But they can run the football. At least we saw this today. Now, moving forward against teams like Buffalo and Tampa Bay, where you're going to need a passing game, we'll find out just how good this rushing attack is. But looking at what Chuba Hubbard's done over the last couple weeks, Amir Abdullah was a great burst for the team today, even Royce Freeman. Then you add in Christian McCaffrey to the fold, possibly next Sunday. Carolina Panthers might have something on the ground. But against better teams, they're going to need something out of the pass game if they hope to see a better second half of the season now that they're 500 and 4-4 going into next week against the Patriots.
All right, Julian, can the case still be made, especially after this weekend, that this is a, let's say, top five, an elite defense in the NFL?
Well, they added the Gilly Lock. You saw the man's home, Stephon Gilmore, who shut down Kyle Pitts, who after the last couple weeks against the Jets and the Dolphins, two bad defenses, you were thinking, hey, maybe this guy's arrived. 2 receptions, 13 yards. Stephon Gilmore gets the interception that salted away the game today in the game in the win against Atlanta. He's fantastic. 2 years removed from being Defensive Player of the Year in the NFL. Shaq Thompson, who was playing at a Pro Bowl level, maybe even arguably All-Pro level before his foot injury against Dallas back in Week 4. He comes in, has 10 tackles, 8 of them solo, and a big-time interception in the first half off of Matt Ryan in the red zone. When he's out there, the Panthers look great. Brian Burns, Hassan Reddick, who's leading the NFC, and sacks had another one today. He's up to 7.5 so far this season. He tore Gross Miles, gets his first sack. The Panthers have a great defensive unit, and the secondary is excellent. So, yes, they're absolutely a top 10 unit, maybe potentially top 5. We will find out, though, as they start playing better offenses down the road, especially when you look at Tampa Bay, like I mentioned earlier, and Buffalo, and even Arizona, who's now 7-1 this season. I do think it's a top 10 defense, potentially a top 5 unit. And the fact that the Panthers won the time of possession battle the first time in 2 weeks, that allowed them to stay fresh and to not give up late touchdowns and late yardage like they had the last couple weeks in those losses. So when this unit's healthy and they're rested, they have to be one of the top 5 units in the National Football League.
Okay, Julian, it is on advice of counsel. What would your advice to the Panthers be if they do not have Sam Darnold next week against New England, left Sunday's game with a concussion?
Well, they still have Cam Newton's number, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, boy.
Kidding. Folks, let's live in reality. Cam Newton is not coming back here to Charlotte. If I get freezing cold take, then fine. I'll be okay with it. But Cam Newton, don't even say it's pride. Like, it's not going to happen. My advice to them would be say a little prayer. I don't know. Like, either way, like New England just won again Sunday against the Chargers on the road. A really good win for Bill Belichick and that team. And Mac Jones has looked probably the most solid of the rookie quarterbacks, but he's still a rookie, so we'll see how he fares against the Panthers, who have eaten up rookie quarterbacks so far this season, and Zach Wilson and Davis Mills. Now, Mac Jones is a step above those guys just based off how he's played so far this season, but he's still a young quarterback. PJ Walker, I know a lot of folks here, I mean, anytime the starting quarterback in any NFL town or college town, wherever it is, high school town maybe even, anytime that starting quarterback is struggling, the backup is the most popular guy in town. So PJ Walker certainly was that over the last couple weeks, but we saw going against the Giants when he relieved Sam Darnold, did nothing. Today, when he came in that first play, don't know why Joe Brady was asking him to throw the ball at the goal line when they had ran it to get down to that situation. Almost a hellacious interception that would have killed the Panthers' momentum and potentially cost them the game today against the Falcons. He is fine, but he's not the answer. So hopefully with the week to prep, PJ Walker might be ready against New England. But considering it's Bill Belichick, one of the best defensive minds in the history of the game, I wouldn't feel too good about him. But either way, the Carolina Panthers' game plan is going to be running the football anyway. So it shouldn't matter whether Darnold or Walker's out there. The game plan should be to run it down their throat. Will they be able to do that against New England? We'll find out. My advice to them is, maybe say a little prayer at night if PJ Walker has to lead you out there against New England, even though Sam Darnold is not necessarily much of an upgrade, but he is the best option for the Carolina Panthers if they want to continue to win games in the final 9 weeks of the season.
All right, a lot to litigate this week. Julian Council, we'll talk to you next Sunday night.